Well, there's some exciting new technologies for treating hair loss, which we have not had in the past. The most exciting, newest technology that we're using is called PRP injections, which stands for platelet-rich plasma. And what we do, it's a very simple and non-invasive procedure where a patient's blood is taken and they spin it down in a centrifuge, and we're looking for a very precise layer of platelets and growth factors. And then that layer is re-injected into the scalp and people are regrowing hair. The treatment looks very promising. If you follow the protocols correctly and do monthly treatments with PRP, over 90% of patients are growing new hair, which is quite an exciting treatment success. The treatments have been easy, they're non-invasive, and what's exciting about it is it's using your own tissue, it's using your own blood to stimulate your hairs to grow. Well, the new PRP procedure works best on certain types of hair loss. Mainly it's for male and female pattern baldness and certain types of alopecia called traction alopecia. It does not, unfortunately, work very well for the scarring alopecias. So the first step is to be evaluated to see what type of hair loss a patient suffers from. And if they're a candidate, then we can get very good regrowth. The longer you've had your hair loss, the harder it is to get success. But we want to catch people that are actually in the early to middle stages of hair loss to get their hairs to regrow. Once you've had a completely bald head for decades, those hairs are really quiet and are difficult to get to regrow. So the best candidate is someone who's recently suffered through male or female pattern baldness. And if they're in that stage where they're actively losing hair, that's where we can really reconvene and have the patients grow new hair. The PRP works by active platelets submitting growth factors into the areas in the scalp. It recruits stem cells, and it actually is like a miracle grow, and it stimulates new hairs to grow. It does this by three things. Number one, it gets the hairs that you have that are shedding to actually stop shedding. It takes the hairs that you have and they increase the thickness and the diameter of the new hairs. And the third thing it does is it actually stimulates new hair growth. So we are very excited to have this new technology here in Colorado Springs. I would say that the most successful hair loss treatment would still be the hair transplantation, but unfortunately the cost is quite high. Most hair transplants start at around $10,000, and people can spend up to $25,000 to get a new head of hair by taking plugs or little individual follicles to inject them where they're missing their hair. But now with this type of hair loss treatment, we actually use your own blood to stimulate your hair to grow using that PRP layer. Okay. Well, the treatments are pretty easy. We start people with a series of 4 treatments. They're done at a monthly interval where the blood is taken and then re-injected, that very thin layer of the platelet-rich plasma. And then usually by the 3rd treatment, patients are noticing a substantial increase in the number of hairs that are being regrown. Once we do the initial 4, we recommend once or twice a year to continue the treatments because this alopecia is an ongoing chronic problem, so you have to continue the treatments. But once you get to about the 6-month point, I would say that over 90% of patients are growing at least 50% or more of their hair back in place, which is quite impressive. We have many photos now on our website, and it's been well documented that these treatments are getting better. Certain types of plasma and plasma kits work better than others, and so we're taking hopefully a plasma kit done by Eclipse Technologies, which separates the plasma into the right layer, and we can maximize the platelets and growth factors from each patient to be re-injected back in their scalp.